Hello, and welcome to the Kathleen Spracklin podcast. I am a woman on a mission to establish a cadre of writers, thinkers, and teachers who are transforming the world, one character at a time. And it all starts with one thing: a deep understanding of human motivation, why people do what they do, and the forces that drive them. To gain that understanding, I am mining the intersection of psychology, theology, and philosophy to make you a better writer. This is episode 132. Zettelkasten. Should your card numbers start with a 4-digit category? The last couple of days, we've been fooling around with card numbering, and I've referred to my effortless numbering system, which starts out number, letter, and a dash for spacing, versus the Lumen Shepherd numbering system, which almost always starts with a 4-digit prefix followed by a slash, then number slash for as long as you need to and as deep as you need to go. I showed in that demonstration in the last two videos that mathematically the two methods are identical if you don't take into account the 4-digit prefix. So the question is, would it be beneficial to have that 4-digit prefix? What does it do in any case? I pointed out in a video quite some time ago that basically a 4-digit prefix is just a piece of geography. To show you again, it just means where in your box is the card going to go. If you want the card to go to the front of your box, you put a 4-digit number like 1, 2, or 3, middle 4, 5, or 6, to the back 7, 8, or 9. It's just geography. But what do the categories mean? That you have to determine for yourself. There's really no other way. Scott offers using the Wikipedia academic disciplines, and that can give you a lot of categories to play with. And if you're in a totally academic sphere, that might be a very good one. Another choice of places where you could look, in the class that I teach, Reawaken the Dream of Writing, I have 3 lessons 2, 3, and 4, that are strictly on the Zettelkasten, and I provide some categories. It's in the PDF files that you can get by just signing up for the course, and you'll automatically, they distribute out a week at a time, but you will get the PDFs for those, and that includes an alternate set of categories. But the simplest thing to do is to set up categories for yourself, because the fact of the matter is you own them anyway. And usually what you stun is the outer number. The largest number is, of course, your most general, and then you narrow it down from there. Now, do you want them or need them? Should you have them? And it's a mixed bag. The advantages of having the categories is especially when your Zettelkasten is very new and your cards might not relate to one another. You might have things from different walks of your life, from very different interests in your life, and you might end up with cards that just don't mesh yet. And having those categories will help you slot your card in before your system really gets going. So that's a big advantage to them. It gives you a little bit of a guidepost. Another advantage to the card system is that it gives you a little bit of a sense of organization, because the other method that is probably best explained as a disadvantage to my system. And so I will explain it from that perspective. My system starts out, your first card that goes into your Zettelkasten is card 1. It's your first card. Next card that goes into your card system, you look in the index. Does it go with any of those keywords? It goes with card 1. Terrific. Card 1 is its parent. It's card 1A. No, it doesn't go with card 1. It's in a new topic. Well, then it's card 2. And you can build the whole thing up that way. There's the challenge, the disadvantage to that system is that as your system grows, you can end up with topics that are similar being scattered in your Zettelkasten. You might have card 1, the first card that you're interested in, might be a bird or an eagle or a jellyfish, and that sets, you've got one used up now on jellyfish. And your next card that comes along is on rocks, being finding gemstones in the wild. Okay, clearly that's number 2. Then the next card that comes along might be about horses. Okay, and then architecture. So, and then the next one that comes along might be about an octopus or a squid. Well, they're jellyfish and octopus, jellyfish and squid are going to be quite a ways away, and they're kind of sort of similar. It's not really a problem, but it can make you feel nervous, especially in the early stages when your Zettelkasten is just getting off the ground. That, I don't know, I'm not comfortable with that system. Whereas if you started out with a classification where maybe your 3000s were science, and then biology was one of the categories under the science, and ocean life might be one under that, and guess what, now they're at least near one another. The octopus and the jellyfish, or the squid and the jellyfish, could at least be somewhat near one another. So that's your biggest value in having the category system. However, there's a major advantage in not using categories. And that has to do with when you're establishing a new field of study. Sertalanges, in his book, The Intellectual Life, goes into this in some depth. This is where you are trying to establish a footing, building a base, getting settled into a new area of study, perhaps as a student, perhaps as an adult learner. It's a whole new area of study. What Sertalanges recommends that you do is that you read a foundational book, and you read it very, very carefully in great detail. He doesn't talk about a Zettelkasten, but that's a perfect opportunity to build a Zettelkasten numbering system off the structure of that book, because it's your foundational text. It's the one time that you don't mind having silos in your Zettelkasten. What's a silo? Okay. If you read one book and all of your cards from that book are together, and then you read another book and all the cards from the other book are together, and another book and all the cards from that book are together, you've built silos in your Zettelkasten. That's very easy to do if you're a student and you're taking different courses. Now, if it turns out that one course is in mathematics, one is in history, and one is in biology, those separate silos make complete sense. But when it gets to your major subject, you don't want to have every subject to be its own silo, even though you want to keep the information together for course purposes. Now, I don't want to get too far out of bounds on this, because that's really about one of the major uses for a bib card. So that's really for a future topic. But when you're doing the foundational reading, you're picking one book to start with. You're letting that book govern the structure of your Zettelkasten, and it forms the basis for you. Then the next book that you read on that same topic, it does not build its own structure. No. You build into your existing structure. Now, when you have that going on, where you're going to make a study of a certain topical area, and you start with a foundational book on that topic, that is a wonderful time to go without using a prefix, because there's a very good chance that your prefix is going to be something like 5432, and you're going to be way off in the middle of everything that you're going to study for the next 2 years starts with 5432, and then you get going. So, do you want a prefix, or do you don't, or should you skip prefix? Here's my solution that I think I'm really starting to love. Now, I'm growing this as we proceed. I'm studying this just like you are. I'm trying to make the best system possible by exploring it. How about this for an idea? I think, as a suggestion, and it's something that I'm kind of doing right now, is the idea of having those prefix numbers, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 on, for general knowledge, for things that are not my primary focus, and using the effortless numbering system where you grab the next number for your new topic and you set a base in that number for those areas that you're deeply interested in and that you expect to study for a long time. That way, your starting numbers in the area that just absorbs your attention aren't these long numbers to start with. And there's no reason they can't coexist in your Zettelkasten. It's very simple. Now, this, you could end up with a system where down here could be your, 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers, and up here start 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. There's no reason you can't do both in your Zettelkasten. And if you don't have a topic that's hot topic for you yet, start at 1,000. See what you think of that idea. But my suggestion is that whichever numbering system you use, if you use a prefix or you don't use a prefix, once you've established that prefix, from that point on, I think the only way to go really is the effortless numbering system, using either the number, letter system, or using /number, /number. You choose from there, because we've already seen that they're mathematically equivalent, functionally equivalent. As long as you don't break that one rule, that all parents love all their children equally. And so as long as you follow that rule, both numbering systems are effortless. So prefix or not to prefix, or both. Why not? I hope this was interesting for you. Let me know if there's anything more that I can answer for you in that. And make your notes felt in the comments. And also, I just want to remind you that all of these tutorials are being brought over to lilypub.org, where they're, as a course, they're being organized by topics. So these last few days will be under numbering. And that way you can see at a glance which tutorials you've seen and which ones you haven't. Keep track of them that way, and they're grouped as to topic. So I hope to see you over in LilyPub or in the comments. Both work. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.